Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with number 17 in this series, Resigning in a Winning Position. For this series I'm often using this book, El Último Error, with lots of examples, and also the website from the Dutch chess writer Tim Krabbe. He has put together many examples as well. And the position on the board is from that website. It is from a game which reportedly was played in Budapest, the capital of Hungary, in 1942. White was Goldstein, black was Turi, and I have searched every corner of the internet for information on these players and the full game, but I've not been able to find anything. As said, I found the position on the website of Tim Krabbe, who has written a number of great books on chess. Let's have a look at the position. We have queen, rook and bishop for white, and queen and two rooks for black. Black is the exchange up and also a pawn up, so a big material advantage for black. But white has very active pieces, so black has to be careful. It is black to move, and that's a good thing because white is threatening mate in 1. So for example, you cannot take the queen on f4, which is emprise there, because then rook takes e8 is checkmate and white has won this game. Let's try something else for black. Can we capture that rook on b8? No, we can't, because that rook was protected by the queen. Queen takes b8 is again checkmate. So let's go back. Black has to be careful. What about rook f2 e6 to protect the rook on e8? Well, then there is bishop takes c6, and white now has enough compensation for the exchange, so that doesn't work either. What about rook f8 to deal with the checkmate threat? Well, that is possible. Then white can play rook takes f8 check, king takes f8, queen b8 check, king e7 and queen c7 check, with lots of play against black's exposed king. The position is about equal. A good move for black here is queen e6, as Krabbe also mentions on his website. Centralizing the queen, protecting the rook on e8, and black will eventually prevail with his extra material. But black saw something better. He played queen a2 takes f2 check. What is that? Black must have thought that himself, because immediately after making this move he resigned. And Krabbe writes, one wonders what he could have thought, both in playing that move and in resigning. The move was very good, and it turns out that black resigned here in a winning position. Let's have a look at this move. What does queen takes f2 check do? Well, the white king is in check, so white does not have time to checkmate the black king. And a very obvious move is here just to take that queen. Queen takes f2, but then there is rook takes f2 check, king takes f2, and now black can take that rook on b8, which is no longer protected by a queen on f4. And the dust has settled, and black is in exchange and 2 pawns up and will win. This is simple technique. Okay, let's go back. Taking with the queen is not good for white. What about taking with the king? King takes f2. Well, then you can take on f4 because it is check. And after g takes f4 you can take that rook again, and we have the same situation, an extra exchange and 2 extra pawns for black, who will win. Okay, so after queen takes f2 check we cannot take that queen, but we can flee with the king to h3 for example, still with that same checkmate threat by taking the rook on e8. But then black has a very nice move, rook h6 check, another check, and you cannot go with the king to g4 because then black will swap the queens, g takes and take on b8, and now he is a lot of material up. So after rook h6 check the only move you have is queen takes h6, but black calmly recaptures because after rook takes e8 check white finds that this is now not checkmate. Yes, it was checkmate in a lot of variations, but because the g pawn has now moved to h6 there is a flight square for the king. King can go to g7, and maybe the black player Turi overlooked that this flight square is now available for the king. Did Turi overlook that in that final variation? Well, we'll never know, presuming that our dear chess friend Turi is no longer with us, as this game was played in 1942. Either way, Turi is now a proud member of the club of players who resigned in a winning position. You can find a playlist with the earlier installments of this Resigning in a Winning Position series up here. I hope you enjoyed this video, that if you did, that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and that you leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.